Hi, my name is Yvonne Brooks. Welcome to McNally Jackson Books. We are in for a big treat tonight. We've got such a wide range of talent. The Screenplay Press, as some of you know, is a New York-based company dedicated to publishing screenplays that have yet to be made into films. We believe screenplays have literary worth and do not just have to exist as blueprints for another medium. And we invite you to help us bring them to life, as we're going to do here tonight. I want to introduce to you Christine Vartoughian. She's an award-winning Armenian-American writer and director whose work is shown at the Museum of the Moving Image, Lincoln Center, and whose feature film, Living with the Dead, A Love Story, is available on Apple TV and Amazon in the US and internationally. Her short fiction has been published in the Bookends Review, Quibble Lit, Rock Salt Journal, and other literary magazines. She's the co-founder of Screenplay Press, a publishing company for yet-to-be-produced film scripts. Thank you. Take it away, Christine.
Thank you so much for everyone who's here, and thank you to McNally Jackson for having us. I started Screenplay Press about a year ago, and it was because I wanted to read more scripts. I wanted to read original scripts. I wanted to read scripts from all over the world written by all different kinds of people. And I wanted to read scripts that I hadn't seen on the screen before. And the reason that I wanted to do this was because when I read a script, I can see the whole story in my mind. I can imagine the lighting, I can imagine the music. And I think that with so many difficulties and so many challenges films, especially screenwriters, as we know from the recent writers' strike, face is getting their work produced. And it has nothing necessarily to do with the quality of the script. So instead of letting these stories, these screenplays, live in a drawer, Screenplay Press really wants to make these stories exist, whether you see them on a screen or not, because as you're reading a script, you can imagine the actors, you can cast whoever you want, you can imagine the lighting, you can imagine what kind of camera angles you would use. You can see in yourself and in your mind how you would make this film. And that is why I love reading screenplays, and I'm so happy to introduce some of the writers here today. So our first performance is going to be by Marina Sharon. Marina is a Russian-American writer and director. She is a recipient of awards from the Foundation of Contemporary Arts, the New York Foundation for the Arts, and the Jerome Foundation. Her short film, Lullaby for Ray, won the Best Short Film Award in Toronto and is available on the Shorts TV International channel, as well as Pandora and iTunes.
Thank you, Christine. I want to briefly introduce my voice, I guess, for this evening, Vartoughian, who will be reading the narration and emceeing this reading. I don't want to say too much about the screenplay, but I'll be back for the Q&A. I'll keep it a mystery for now. And now I welcome my wonderful cast and Mirta to the stage.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Vartoughian. I'm also a producer, because we are producing this film. It's going to happen one way or another. So this film is a psychosexual thriller. It's about a wealthy couple that lives in the Upper East Side. Lynn, who's very wealthy, has just recovered, is on remission from ovarian cancer. And in that process, in that battle, she has had these imagined pregnancies and imagined miscarriages. Her husband, Joe, who is an actor turned real estate entrepreneur, truly loves Lynn, but kind of resents her because of all of that wealth. Lynn and Joe encounter Christina, who's 15, who's out surviving in the streets after having a sort of fatal encounter with her father, who was actually her pimp as well. With us today we have Grace Brennan playing Christine, inimitable. We have the wildly talented Harvey Gardner Moore playing Joe. And we have the dazzling Caroline Luft playing Lynn. This is the fruit of our womb, Act 1, Scene 10. Interior, Lynn's and Joe's Upper East Side apartment, bedroom night. Joe, 40s, athletic, well-groomed, is awake next to Lynn, 40s, a striking beauty. Her fragile scalp sports recently regrown hair. Joe can't sleep. He glances at Lynn, deeply concerned. Joe touches her shoulder ever so slightly. Lynn turns to him without waking up. Her mouth is slightly open. She looks like a fish gasping for air. Joe gets out of bed and starts getting dressed.
Where are you going?
I need some fresh air.
Cut to black. Sound. Muffled moans mixed with slurping and the rustling of clothes. These are the inarticulate sounds of either pain or pleasure. Exterior, Central Park, night. Joe approaches the edge of the park and walks past a row of benches. There's a homeless person slumped over each bench. He turns around to head back home. He notices a yellow taxi parked along the sidewalk. Joe walks to the cab, slowing down as he nears. As he approaches, Joe can hear muffled sounds from inside the cab. Joe peers through the hazy window, mesmerized by what he sees. The driver's contorted face, eyes closed, mouth open. His right arm grips something down below. Joe knocks at the window. The driver opens his eyes and gapes, disoriented. The front door blasts open. The driver kicks someone out of the car. It's Christina, 15, with red dreadlocks and eyes that pull you in. The driver speaks off, splashing Joe and Christina with dirty water from the curb.
You dirty fucking scumbag!
Joe scans Christina, who's rolled into a tight ball on the pavement. Slowly, she unfurls.
Are you okay?
He didn't pay.
Christina scrambles to her feet.
What were you doing in there?
I can show you.
Nah. God. No, you're just a child.
Christina steps under the streetlight. Joe can now see her face.
And your lip. It's bleeding.
Christina rubs her lips, spreading blood and lipstick over her face.
Here.
Joe reaches into his pocket, takes out a monogrammed handkerchief, and offers it to Christina. She wipes her lips and extends the bloody cloth back to Joe.
No. I'll keep it. You don't remember me, do you? I saw you earlier today at the restaurant.
I don't remember you.
She turns around and heads towards the park.
I was with my wife. You know her, don't you?
Christina shakes her head, but then, slowly, nods in recognition.
Your wife is very beautiful.
Yes. Yes, she is. Listen, we live just a few blocks from here. I thought...
Christina looks at Joe, chuckles.
My name is Joe, by the way. What's yours?
Christina.
You must be hungry, Christina.
Interior, Lynn's and Joe's Upper East Side apartment, kitchen, later. Lynn watches Christina eat their leftovers. Christina's swollen lip makes it difficult for her to eat, but her hunger is stronger than the pain. Lynn is engrossed, her expressions mirroring those of Christina. Meanwhile, Joe closely watches Lynn.
Don't eat so fast. And don't forget to swallow.
My lip hurts.
It looks pretty bad. What happened to it?
I fell.
I found her sleeping on a bench in the park.
I see. That's where you live, in the park? What happened to your parents?
Christina stops eating.
My mother was an acrobat in Cirque du Soleil. One day, she fell from the trapeze and broke her backbone. After that, she couldn't move or talk. She could only breathe. And then, one day, she stopped breathing.
Wow. You have your story memorized by heart.
Joe starts to clap, but Lynn shoots him the look.
And my father's heart exploded.
Poor darling.
Christina resumes eating.
Wait a minute. You said, well, she said on the way here that your father passed away recently. So, which is it?
Christina shrugs.
Well, is it at least true what you said about his heart?
It's true. It took 10 years to explode.
Finish your dinner. I'll run you a warm bath.
Interior, Lynn's and Joe's apartment, bathroom, night. Christina soaks in the tub filled with bubbles. She blows some bubbles from her hand, then moves it to her mouth and sticks out her tongue as if she's going to taste them. Lynn glances in.
You okay?
I like your smell.
Smell. Oh, it's my night cream. Do you want me to wash your back?
Thank you.
Lynn dips her hand in the water and gently runs it down Christina's spine.
You like to be washed?
Yes.
Did your mother wash you when you were a baby?
She did.
Do you remember her at all?
Christina slowly nods.
What did she look like?
Like you.
Christina blows a bubble. Interior, Lynn's and Joe's apartment, bedroom, night. Begin Lynn's dream sequence. The room is dark. A large soap bubble floats in the air. Inside the bubble is Christina, curled like a fetus, sucking on her thumb. The Christina bubble floats towards Lynn and hovers over her. Lynn reaches to touch it, and it bursts. End Lynn's dream sequence. Lynn wakes with a start.
Joe! Are you asleep?
She taps him on the shoulder.
What is it?
She's a sweet girl.
Yes, she is. I'll call the police tomorrow.
The police?
Yeah, there must be a place for kids like her.
But you brought her here.
She was hungry. I thought you would enjoy feeding her.
I did. Yes. But we can do more than that. I want her to stay.
No.
She's a child who needs a home. It feels right.
It feels right, it's illegal.
And we can make it legal. A legal adoption.
It's not that simple, and besides, we really don't know that much about her.
I know enough.
Well, I could do some checking if you'd like.
with the police.
I could hire a private eye.
You said I should trust my intuition.
And you said you wanted a child of your own.
What if she is?
You like her that much?
I don't know what I feel, but I feel something. And it's not pain.
Okay. She can stay. Until we figure something out.
Thank you.
Joe turns the bedside light on.
But people might ask where she came from.
I don't care about people. What people? And if it matters to you, we can come up with a story. Her name is Christina. She's your niece. She grew up in a small town.
Her parents died in a tragic car accident. And so she came to stay with us.
It's a sad story. She has no one else in the world but us. Not a soul.
End scene. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I want to thank McNally and Christine, Screenplay Press, and everyone here for coming down to the Seaport. Really great. Thank you very much. So, Claudine 19 is a story that takes place in New York City in 1980, when everything was different, like really different. And the story revolves around a young boy, Henry, who's like a 15-year-old teenager, who is shy, he's kind of awkward, he hasn't found his footing yet, he's not confident, and he gets left alone in New York under the care of Claudine, because his mom couldn't come in, missed the flight to pick him up. And Claudine is a kind of a wild 19-year-old au pair who really hates the family she's working with, who happened to not be there that weekend. Claudine, in order to get out of this terrible job, has become an expert shoplifter. She's just shoplifting and making money that way because she wants to travel the world. So Henry shows up at the apartment. It's the last thing she expected. And now she has to take care of him for the weekend. So she pulls him into her scam of shoplifting. And this kind of changes Henry's life. So where we pick up the script is kind of around the third act, where after one transformative day for Henry, Claudine just decides to bring him to some wild, crazy party. And we pick this up at the end, toward the end of the party. Well, I'll also be reading one kind of extra line that is extraneous, but I'll just read it anyway. Interior, Fabienne's bathroom, night. Claudine and a small crowd of partygoers surround the bathtub, where Henry's mostly naked body is passed out.
Henry, get up, what happened? Oh my God, are you sick?
We hear gasps and oh my gods and what happened? What's wrong with him? Claudine lifts him up, someone pours cold water over him. She lifts at Henry's eyelids and shakes his head.
Henry, are you all right? Henry, sit up. Someone help me get him up on his feet.
Fabienne steps in. Claudine, is he just drunk? Or does this happen to him all the time? Should we call an ambulance?
No, Henry, are you okay? Talk to me.
Henry starts to come to. He slowly opens his eyes and sees Claudine.
Henry.
Henry lifts himself out of the tub. He scrambles for his clothes. He's clearly embarrassed. He can't look anyone in the face.
I'm sorry. I'm fine. I'm okay now. Really, thanks.
Everyone out. Thank you. Out.
She pushes everyone out of the bathroom. Claudine and Henry are left alone in the bathroom.
God, you scared me. You look really pale. Are you on drugs? Did she give you drugs? How did you end up in here with her so fast?
She just barged in on me.
Did you have sex?
I don't know. I think maybe, but I'm not sure. I just made a fool of myself, didn't I?
She fills the sink with cold water, dunks a towel, and starts to wipe his forehead and face. Henry reacts harshly to the cold water.
Henry, you totally freaked me out. What's going on? You passed out. What did you take?
Nothing. It's just the condition I have. This happens to me. I get afraid, anxious, dizzy, and then I often pass out. It's called vasovagal syncope. I swear, it's a condition. I cursed with it.
You just look drunk and your eyes are weird looking.
Okay, I tried some coke, and then smoked some weed, and drank some champagne, but that's not why I passed out. I pass out if I get very nervous or anxious. It happened to me the other day in the store.
Really? This happens to you all the time? Oh, how do you feel now?
I'm fine.
You have to treat this. Learn to control it or something.
I know. It's not treatable.
She rubs his shoulders and his head. Henry leans in and tries to kiss Claudine on the lips. She immediately pushes him away.
No, stop. Henry, what are you doing?
Come on, you were kissing that guy in the kitchen. Why not me?
Are you jealous? You're 15. Looks like sex makes you faint.
Claudine laughs at him. He looks way embarrassed. Claudine pauses and looks at Henry in all seriousness.
Henry, I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
Henry stares back at Claudine in all seriousness. A moment of uncomfortable silence fills the bathroom.
Let's go.
They exit. Exterior street, night. Henry is sleeping as he sits alone on a building stoop. Claudine walks up and sits next to him with 2 slices of pizza and 2 sodas.
Here, I got you a slice. You need to eat something.
Henry takes a slice and looks at it. Claudine starts to eat.
New York pizza really is the best in the world.
I can already tell Chicago pizza's way better.
Is that like the hot dogs? Pizza with cheese and chili or something disgusting like that?
No, look at this. It's like a piece of paper with cheese and sauce.
Henry holds up his slumping slice, dripping with oil.
Chicago pizza does not do this. It's a deep dish.
Deep dish? What is that?
Claudine devours her slice. She grabs Henry's slice and takes a bite. He lets her take it and continues.
It's like 2 inches thick.
Henry holds up his 2 fingers as an indication. He points to the last bite of the slice in Claudine's hand. She looks at it, and then she feeds it to him.
Should never brought you to this party. You're not ready. You could be in the hospital, imagine.
But I'm not. So everything's fine.
No, but you had a bad sexual experience up there. That's my fault.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No.
Yes. The Brazilian told me everything. She tried to explain what happened. She freaked out when I told you her real age. She thought you went to Columbia University.
What did she say?
Nothing. Never mind.
No, really, what did she say?
It's over. Forget it.
Tell me, what did she say?
She said you were very fast.
What?
You know, she said it was fast. Henry, it's okay. It's normal. That happens all the time to young boys. It's called premature ejaculation. You can look it up.
Great, now I have 2 conditions.
It's really no big deal. It's normal. Trust me, you'll look back on this night and laugh it off in a couple of years.
Henry leans in to try to kiss Claudine again.
No, Henry, stop.
Claudine pushes him away. Henry feels rejected.
My life sucks. You hate me now. I'm like a wimpy kid who faints and is terrible at sex.
Henry's visibly upset.
It's ridiculous, Henry. You're making all of this up in your little head. I just don't have feelings like that for you. Do you understand? You're still in high school. All of your imagination, this could never be. You and me?
Are you older than 19?
I told you that's none of your business.
I just thought, 15 to 19 or 25, whatever your age. That's pretty close.
Henry leans in again to try to kiss Claudia. This time he catches her by surprise. It's an awkward, quick kiss on the cheek.
No way, stop. Forget it. This is wrong.
But
No. Shit.
I think I'm in love with you.
I can't believe this is happening. No, you're not. You're not, Henry.
Yes, I am. Why is this funny to you? I'm serious.
Henry, you are not in love with me. Maybe you're in love with a new you. I'm not in love with you, Henry. I'm sorry. It's not like that for me.
silence as Henry sulks in disappointment and Claudine feels bad. She reaches into her bag.
Here, have an atomic fireball. You need some sugar, some energy. It'll wake you up.
I really don't feel well now.
I know just what you need.
She pulls him up and they walk away. Interior, Russian baths, night. It's a co-ed night at the Russian bathhouse. The crowd is on the younger side with a couple of out-of-place fat old Russians. There are colored lights, music plays, giving the steam room and pools a cheap disco feel. Thick steam clears to reveal Henry walking through the bathhouse with yellow-issued shorts. He's walking around through various rooms. He looks lost and drowsy. Henry whispering, "Claudine, are you in here?" I want to thank these guys for reading, thank their parents for letting them. So yeah, Acadia Colon and Donovan Colon. I said their names.
And next we have Shari Berman. Shari is a filmmaker whose features include Sugar and Detention 101. She edits all her films and began editing as a child by cutting puzzle pieces to make them fit as she thought best, creating some very strange pictures. She grew up in the Bronx, enjoys mentoring artists, and strives to eat as much sushi as humanly possible.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate this bookstore for its sheer existence. And Christine, you're amazing. I don't know where you are right now. Just hello. There you are. So before I forget, I just want to introduce the actors. You already saw Caroline left, but she's back again. Kara Green and George Sheffy. They're all wonderful. Go follow them online. Give them some support. Thank you. My name is Shari Berman, and I wrote a trilogy. This is the first in a trilogy. This is Numbers. The second screenplay is Names and Last is Humans. And I only mention this because in this script you might hear the mention of some names, and that's just a little hint to the chaos that's about to come. You're going to hear the first section of the screenplay, Act 1, as they say, which I don't really like all that stuff, but that's what they say, condensed. And this was inspired by me working in corporate America. So laugh, because it's good to laugh in corporate America. All right. Exterior, town square. Two men dressed in red bring up a man dressed in green onto a platform. He is stoic, unemotional. An executioner reads charges against the man in green. All citizens wear name tags indicating their numbers.
G8 623. You have been charged and found guilty of non-assimilation. You will be hereby removed from society, preventing more damage to the corporate world health. Please step into the chamber.
The man in green steps into the glass chamber. The doors close around him.
Ready. Aim. Click.
A man in red clicks a spot on a computer screen. The glass chamber fills with a heavy green mist and then clears. When the mist clears, the chamber is empty. Interior Airport, a woman, P9222, turns off her TV and turns on her radio.
Today is Monday. Today is a regular day with regular appointments. And now, the news of the day.
The happy news of the day filters in from the walls around her. Her apartment is filled with thick purple flowers. She showers and gets dressed all in purple. She puts on her name tag, P9222. Interior bedroom. She sits with her cup of coffee and she listens contentedly as she paints her face shades of purple.
Today is sunny with a few puffy white clouds. Life is beautiful. The stocks are steadily on the rise. The president of the corporate world continues his tour of the Western Hemisphere. He smiles at the people and they smile back. All is good. All is good.
Exterior street. P9222 walks to work through a world filled with bright, vibrant color, but very robotic. Everything is slick. There is no feeling, only a facade of beauty that the people within it do not seem to notice. It's not odd in any way. Everything is routine. A bakery is all green with workers all in green. People wait in line with vacant looks on their faces. The workers each have tasks that they repeat again and again. A construction site is all bright pink with workers in bright pink outfits. They also move in a steady, repetitive routine. A florist shop is yellow with all people in yellow. They snip and wrap flowers in mechanical mode, but they smile all the while. Commuters walk to work in a mechanical manner. A voice is heard as workers make their way to their offices. The voice comes from everywhere, including traffic lights and walls of buildings.
Walking to work is healthy, but only safe if these rules are followed. Remember, the east side of the avenue is for walking uptown. The west side of the avenue is for walking downtown. If you need to get to a shop on the opposite side of the street, make sure to walk to the next corner and cross at the light and then work your way back. When entering a shop, be careful not to bump or disturb your fellow commuters when moving to the door. Signal before crossing anyone's path. And always remember to smile. Smiling keeps us healthy. And now, some music.
Happy music plays as the commuters walk in time to it to work. Interior office building lobby. P9222 enters her towering glass office building. She stops at a counter in the lobby. Everyone in the building is like her, all in purple, except for the man behind the counter who wears green.
Good morning, P9222. The usual?
Good morning, G8489. Yes, the usual.
Interior office building elevator. P9222 gets into an elevator. She holds a large beverage and a very large pastry. Calm music plays. Interior office. P9222 enters her floor. It is a streamlined space with minimal furniture. It feels exorbitantly expensive. She goes to her desk, she puts down the coffee in exactly the center spot on her coaster. She places her pastry on the plate, exactly in the center, and sits at her desk. She puts her purse down, hangs her coat on the back of her chair, and picks up a document from her desk. P9222 walks down a long lavender hallway. The walls appear to glisten around her. She opens a large purple door by pressing her purple gloved hand against a pad on the wall. Her fingertips stick out and she wears purple nail polish. Interior office building basement room. She walks in the room in a steady rhythm. She consults a list as she takes various discs from a large volume of shelves of discs. She exits the room, she shuts the door, she walks back down the long hallway and up a flight of stairs. She walks into a large room with purple cubicles and only purple people. She sits down at her desk, she puts her discs in the machine one at a time. She takes notes. A coworker with a cart walks by. He drops a stack of paper on her desk.
Good morning, P9222. How are you?
I'm fine, P9200. And you?
Fine, just fine. And dandy.
Her coworker continues on to the next desk and has the exact same conversation, and secretly he has a name. Time passes. At the end of the day, a voice comes through the machine on P9222's desk.
P9222, please rise and come into my office.
Interior boss's office. Her boss sits behind a desk. She looks calm and slightly sinister. She sees a fly land on her desk and she smashes it with her hand. Without missing a beat, she hands P9222 a list for the next day with a smile on her face. P9222 goes to her desk, turns off her machine. She places her list in the center of the desk. She puts on her coat, picks up her purse, and exits the building along with the other purple people. Interior nightclub, evening. P9222 sits at a table with two other co-workers. The nightclub is all dark red with dark shadows from the flickering electric candles. A singer performs with a band. She wears orange. The band is all in orange. She sings to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. The song ends and everyone applauds.
That was lovely, wasn't it, dear?
Oh, yes, dear, it was lovely.
They both sip from their drinks.
It's sad about the number of young people falling out of society. We don't know what it is with your generation.
Don't blame our generation, PA287, sir. I am horrified by it as well. I can't even turn on the live news anymore unless it is a required broadcast, as those are.
Well, I think they show those things to make sure that others understand what happens if you stray from routine. Routine is godly.
Amen.
Amen.
They are interrupted by the nightclub singer. Ladies and gentlemen of all colors, it is now time for Dance 249. Everyone rises immediately and lines up as if an automated response. Music plays and they all partake in a very structured line dance. Exterior street. P9222 walks home past the flower shop, past the construction site, past the bakery, and into her building. P9222 cooks dinner and listens to the happy news. She eats, watching television on her wall. On the screen, we see B40, the Blues Slayer.
Oh no, another sad person! I'll help.
B40 hands a crying woman 2 pills and a glass of water.
Take 2 of those and you won't have to see me in the morning. Your blues will be gone.
P9222 cleans up. Then she removes her purple makeup. She places her name tag precisely in the center of her vanity. She changes into a purple nightgown. She takes 2 bills from a bottle marked No Dream and goes to bed. The very next day, P9222 awakens. Her day begins. The routine is the same. She watches with rapt attention to the mandatory broadcast of the day's execution like a straight-A student who wouldn't want to miss a very important fact that might be on the final exam. P9222 walks to work, passing the bakery, the construction site, and the florist, as the soothing sounds of the traffic voice and happy music float around her, keeping her in a state of bliss. Interior office building. P9222 orders her usual breakfast with a genuine smile of happiness that the baker in the lobby has what she wants. A good bear claw is essential to starting the day. Interior office day. She goes to her desk, organizes her things as she did the day before. She goes through her morning tasks and has the same conversation with her coworker as she had the day before. This time, however, as he moves on, he looks back at her with a look of inquiry. She does not notice. She's too engrossed in her very essential work. At the end of the day, she has the same ever-important meeting with her boss. She leaves to go out to the only club she would ever set foot in, but feeling like she is making the choice anew. Interior nightclub evening. P9222 sits at a table with her usual companion. A man in the background watches them.
Today was a yellow one. Evaporated in the tank.
Oh, maybe we should bet on which color will be next.
I see. Pink. We haven't had a pink one evaporated in a while.
I don't know. We haven't had a purple one in a long time.
That's because purples are smarter.
Of course.
P9222 walks home, past the flower shop, past the construction site, past the bakery, and into her building. Interior apartment P9222 cooks dinner and listens to the happy news. She eats watching television on her wall. On screen are the opening credits to Happy People Always Smiling. An image of smiling people appear on screen, moving to the beat of the music, and the following is heard.
We are happy, don't you know it, you be too.
You be too.
We are happy, don't you know it, you be too.
You be too.
We are happy, we are happy, we are never feeling crappy. We are happy and you know you can be too.
You be too.
She cleans up. She takes 2 pills from a bottle marked No Dream and goes to bed. Interior bedroom day. P9222 awakens. Her day begins. It is the same as the day before, but something new is about to happen. In a generic apartment, the mandatory broadcast of the day's execution goes on. It is the same as the day before, except a woman in pink is being executed this time.
PA298 was right. Pink.
P9222 turns off the mandatory broadcast and turns on the radio to listen to the calendar lady followed by the newscaster, and she gets ready for work in the usual manner. Exterior street day. P9222 walks by the bakery as she has always done. Something is different. She pauses and returns. She stares. There is a painting in the shop. It depicts a field of flowers and a little girl and a little boy running through it. The painting draws her in as if it is meant for her. A memory crops up. Flashback in fragments. Exterior field day. A little girl, herself, and a little boy run through a field laughing. The field feels like they are running through a Van Gogh painting. The little boy is in a tree. The little girl looks up at him. Large red arms reach in and snatch her out of the field. The boy screams and 2 people grab him and run off with him. One woman is shot by one of the guards in a very precise manner, as if it was personal. Despite her wounds, she keeps moving with the boy. She saves him from the Reds, who are continuing to snatch up a number of children and throw them in a government vehicle. Back to present day, exterior street. P9222 is clearly jarred, but she manages to continue her routine. Interior office. She sits down at a desk and begins working. Her co-worker comes by.
Good morning, P9222.
He stops to look at her intently, as if he expects something different.
How are you?
I'm fine, P9200. How are you?
Fine. Just fine and dandy.
Co-worker continues on to the next desk and has the exact same conversation, but all the while he is watching P9222 looking very confused. Interior nightclub evening. P9222 sits at a table with her usual crowd. Just as the previous evening, a man sits in the shadows behind their table watching her. Exterior street. P9222 walks home and is once again drawn to the painting. All of a sudden, she starts noticing the world around her and the individual people within it. She enters a bakery shop. People are ordering in a very matter-of-fact way and taking and paying for orders in a mechanical fashion, not noticing anything around them. But not P9222. Instead of just ordering, she asks a genuine question.
How are you doing today?
The man behind the counter is startled and does not know what to say. A green teenager, Alicia, behind him catches her eye and coyly smiles. There is something very different about this teenager. She has a bit of individuality that the others lack. P9222 places her order, receives it, pays, and leaves. She walks by a construction site full of workers in pink. She watches them as if they are putting on a performance art piece, until she realizes she's being stared at. She's shocked at her behavior and she hurries home. She cooks, she eats, she cleans up, and goes to take her non-dream pills, but gets distracted, thinking about the painting. She does not take the pills. She takes off her paint and goes to bed and dreams. In her dream, she walks down a long hallway. She sees people of different colors laughing and drinking wine. She's confused. They all look at her. Their makeup vanishes, and they smile, beckoning her to join them. Interior bedroom night. P9222 wakes up in a sweat and immediately takes a dose of her non-dream pills and turns on recording 40001. Mellow music plays as a soothing voice speaks.
Everything is fine. Everything is good. You are honest and true. All will be well.
The recording repeats over and
Everything is
over.
fine.
P9222 continues to
You are
sweat.
honest and true. All will be well.
Thank you, guys.
Alright, so I'm going to ask if any of you have any questions first, because without you here, we wouldn't be here. So if anyone wants to ask a question, please go ahead, let us know, raise your hand, shout, interrupt, all good.
How are you able to assemble such a great range of really excellent work?
I think a lot of it is actually, so Screenplay Press puts out scripts, they're very highly curated. So all of these filmmakers and all of the screenwriters that are published with SPP are people that I know and people that I've worked with, people that I've done writing labs with or know through other filmmakers. And so I think part of it is when you're working in an industry, especially one that is so collaborative and yet so difficult, you really get to know who you want to work with and who produces good work and who is willing to do it, because a lot of times, and I don't know if I'm the only one that has this experience, but it's like a lot of people talk about ideas and not everyone does it. So I think just from experience and living and doing this for 10 plus years, I was able to meet people who have been doing it way better, way longer than me, honestly.
Thank you.
I have a question for Marina. So the cancer part of the wife is kind of interesting, but almost seems disconnected from picking up Christina. How does it become important?
Well, I guess you would have to read the script maybe to really see the connection. But just to give some hint, Lynn is someone who comes from privilege. Having cancer is maybe the first time she was in her life that she felt vulnerable. And it's that vulnerability that allows you to connect to Christina. That's a simple answer.
Did you say she had miscarriages herself?
She was actually pregnant in the past. She had an abortion, as we find out later in the story. And having recovered from cancer, realizing that she will never be able to have a baby is something that kind of, puts you on the edge.
I just want to quickly say that scripts are for sale downstairs. A lot of the stuff you've seen today are just small slices, about 10 pages or less of what is a 100+ page script. So if you would like to read the entire script, they're only $9.99. Afterwards, we will be doing a signing and we'll be hanging out and talking further in the wine bar. So before we have too many questions about scripts, I just wanted to say sometimes I do these book events and I forget to say the scripts are on sale. So definitely not going to make that mistake this time.
And the store's open till the bar's open till 9 and the store's open till 9.
Yes, open until 9.
You can have enough time to read the script, perhaps.
I'm just gonna, yes.
Have you been able to get any schools, like film schools, to use your scripts?
We've been looking into that. Some of our writers are professors as well. We're looking at, especially for actors who have to do monologues or scenes, we have a lot, maybe 8 of our scripts are written by women. and feature female characters. So we're trying to get them into schools where actors and directors can use them in classrooms.
It's a question for all of you, but as you're developing these screenplays, it's more of a creative process. Do you think of the story first, or do you think of the character first? And do you build off of that?
First? I guess it depends. Every script is different and the process is different. For this particular one, it began with the character of Christina. I was kind of fascinated with her for a while, and yeah, that was kind of the main spark.
For me, I write about something that's frustrating, annoying me, or that I'm just finding so incredibly unbelievable that my life is doing this, that I have to write about it. And I don't use outlines or any of that stuff. I don't work that way. I just think about where I'm starting and where I want to get to, and I just write it all in my head, and then I sit and write, for days. And then obviously I rewrite some drafts and stuff.
For me, on this script, Claudine 19, the characters were important. I grew up in New York City, so I was pulling from my experience as a younger person in New York. So the characters are very distinct, and in this whole script, it's pretty much a two-character story. They're in like every scene in this script. So the story, of course, I did have a good idea of the story, but I think that the characters were all important. The characters carry the story in this because it's their personality and their clash and the contrast and the give and take constantly of pushing each other into different directions. So that distinction between the two characters was all important for the story to keep moving ahead fast with a lot of bumps in the road.
So I think that we are going to close the event and move downstairs. Please join us. We'll be having drinks and talking about scripts and writing and the strike being over, kind of. And I think what I want to do is I want to ask a question, but not have us answer it, so that maybe we can continue the conversation downstairs. And as I'm watching all of these performances, and I know all of your scripts so well right now after formatting and typo checking and making them into ebooks, which doesn't have an auto format, so you literally have to do it like line by line. And I was wondering, what is your reaction? And this is a question for every writer. What is your reaction? What is the first thing you think about when you finish that first draft and you type either fade out or the end? Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for McNally Jackson hosting us.